Welcome to another episode of Politics, Law, and Life, where every story finds its verdict. We're the Johnsons. I'm Lonnie Johnson.
I'm Tiago.
I'm Antoy.
I'm Tierra.
I'm Antoine.
And I'm Eartha Jean. And if you, after watching this, if you really like it, please share and subscribe, because we're trying to get it into the home of every single American out there. Because where else do you learn the law? And this is a free way to learn it, a fun way to learn it. And you'll actually have stuff that you can share and keep people out the criminal justice system.
So today we're going to talk about the Fifth Amendment. Now, you hear it all the time. You have a right to remain silent. What does that actually mean? And do people actually employ that or take advantage of that amendment to protect their rights? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Talk about how it's used, how it should be used, and what are some of the ramifications. So to start with, who wants to kick off?
Tiago, why don't you talk about the law and what is the right to remain silent?
The Fifth Amendment guarantees you the right to remain silent. So if an officer is questioning you, if anyone is questioning you, you do not have to respond. Federally, it's a crime to lie to law enforcement. It's not a crime to use your Fifth Amendment to remain silent and say, I'm not having this conversation, and refusing to communicate on the issue.
Respectfully.
Respect is advised. However, the requirement is not.
No. I'm talking about getting home alive. I mean,
okay. No,
yeah.
I don't want it to be a situation. The law specifically, it just lays out, you don't have to be a witness against yourself. You don't have to answer questions that are being asked of you. You have the right, and you will have the right to remain silent unless you find yourself in a situation where you're in court. In court, if you come to court and you try to invoke your Fifth Amendment and the DA's office at that time chooses to give you immunity for the case, meaning you have a written immunity. Now, if you're smart, you get immunity not only for any possible state charges, but also say no, because this could bring me up on federal charges. So once you get the feds to make this deal too, then we can talk about me not remaining silent. But the only way that you get beyond that is if there is grant of immunity, and at that time, once that's laid out, the judge can tell you, hey, you have to answer this question, and if you don't answer the question, the judge can hold you in contempt.
Only guilty people. Only guilty people.
Hold on. Now, one thing
I agree.
But can we appoint a legal?
I wanted to clarify. How do I know the feds are involved? You said
you don't have to know the feds are involved. If it's something, the reason I say that is if this is something that could even possibly subject you to being brought on federal criminal charges, you don't. So guess what?
That's where
because you don't.
Okay, look, we moving too far.
A guarantee on both sides. So just don't think that because you have a state grant of immunity, that doesn't put you in a place where the feds can't prosecute. They still can. Okay. And if they can, you want to be in a position where you're saying, hey, I said this because I was granted immunity. And unless they can guarantee you that your right is not going to harm you, because the Fifth says you have the right against self-incrimination. So I don't incriminate myself. I can remain silent, right? Well, if it can incriminate you at the federal level, I'm going to keep my right until you...
Okay. We going too far too fast. We ain't even got to the basics yet. For basics, everyday people, before we get into state versus federal and all that, you have a right to remain silent. Stay silent. You will not talk yourself out of trouble. Now, this is the issue that we have. I think all of us do is doing criminal defense work. I'll get a client, advise not to say anything. They all talk. When police officers pull you over, they are trained in the art of deception. Like she said, it's a crime to lie to them, but it's not a crime for them to lie to you. You won't talk yourself out of the trouble, but you'll talk yourself into a ton of it. When they pull you over on a DWI investigation, that's what it is. When they ask you, how many drinks have you had tonight? They're not asking you because they want to know how many drinks you had tonight. They want you to admit to drinking at all. Because instead of saying, I didn't drink at all, you're going to say, oh, I just had a beer. And now they've got you on drinking, let the game begin.
It's always a couple.
Exactly. So
I had a couple beers.
Exactly. So it's like they're trained in the art of deception. They can lie to you, you can't lie to them. So the number one thing about this right to remain silent, I want to start at the very ground level where most people start their first interaction is when the police pull you over. You have a right to remain silent. Use it. And when I say use it, that means answer no questions. Don't answer where you were coming from. Don't answer how many you had to drink. Don't answer where you're going. You don't have to answer all of that. What you have to do is identify yourself. So you respectfully, the smart way, what I do, you don't got to do it, but what I do, I keep my ID right there. When it's time for me to, like on my dash, and when the laws pull me over, I put my ID outside the window along with my hands. And the reason why I do that, I went to a conference and there was a police officer that was talking, FBI agent, and he was saying, you know, all of us, there's bad apples and everything, but all of us, as far as police officers, we all just want to make it home. He's like, so when you put us in a situation, we don't know what we're walking up on when we walk up to a car. We don't know if we're dealing with somebody that got 10 keys in the back and they on their last strike and they're going to shoot their way out over a traffic violation. So for that reason, we're worried when we're scared too when we approach your car. So for that reason, the best thing you can do for us is show your hands. And I've been doing it ever since. As soon as I get pulled over, once I see those lights, I put that light on and I keep my hands visible. When I pull over, by the time I get out that car, my hands are outside the window. I always have my hands outside my window. And so many times they've saved me. I had a cop walk up and tell me, like, I was speeding, I knew I was wrong. Like, man, I walked up on you, but when I saw you with your hands outside that window, you don't know how easy that made this for me. Like, I knew you weren't going to do anything to me, and for that reason, it disarmed me. He sent me away with a warning. I know I should have got a ticket, but he was like, you consider me, so I'm going to consider you. And that goes a long way. But I'm getting off key, but I really want to hit home, and sorry for talking too much, is that when it comes down to it, don't say anything. Don't try to talk yourself out of trouble. Don't try to explain yourself out of trouble, because all you're doing is giving them what they need to lock you up. Anything you say bad will be used against you. Anything good you say will be ignored. That's just what it comes down to. And I think Tierra, get like on jail calls.
So now the very first thing I tell any client that I meet, I'm a public defender, the very first thing I tell them is don't get on those phones and start talking, because I fail. That's when they get you. When you first process, a lot of people have never been arrested before, the first time ever been arrested, freaking out, don't know what happened, sorry for what they did, sometimes intoxicated, and it's always a situation where they make a phone call. I can't believe I did such and such, or I'm so sorry. And what we do consistently, I tell them, don't talk. Don't talk, because a lot of times, especially when it comes to family violence cases or misunderstandings that have gone too far, if you're sorry about it, the other person might be sorry too. They might not want to participate in prosecution, but you've placed yourself in a situation where they don't even need them because they have your own admissions on the jail calls. And people always try to scam the system. Well, I'm just going to use somebody else's SPIN number. They can't catch me that way. Yes, they can. As a prosecutor, I used to do that. I can give you plenty of trials that I had where I didn't have my complainant, but I had some jail calls where he's admitting to everything that happened. Those jail calls, all you got to do is get the jail call custodian of records to come and testify that they use this person's SPIN, but this is the same voice that's on all the other calls that I have. So don't talk. Don't talk to the officers. Don't talk on the jail phone calls. They give you the phone calls, talk about the weather, talk about the kids. Do not talk about the offense in any way. The first thing I tell my clients now, and the thing that I think used to get the best of the people that I used to prosecute, because they can't help it, but they're gonna get on the phone calls, and they're gonna talk about it.
That takes us to Antoine's comment.
Yeah, only the guilty people remain silent.
That's what people don't get. We always say, if you think you're innocent, that's when you better shut up, because you gonna. And we have that in the game that we play. At the end of the day, what happens is that you don't think you've done anything. For instance, it happens with the felony murder cases more than anything, where somebody said, well, I wasn't there. No, I didn't do anything. I was just sitting out in the car. I didn't have a gun. I didn't have anything. You done just got yourself a felony murder charge, not even knowing that you don't know what you don't know. So I think that's important. And you're talking about writing down, it ain't just the jail calls. I got a speeding ticket, and I said something to an officer. We get in court, he pulls out the ticket, and on the back of everything I said was on the back. It wasn't nothing to hurt me, but it was just the idea that they write every single thing. Where are you coming from? Like what you just said, all of that. I answered every question, and he wrote everything down. I don't know why there it didn't get him anywhere, but at the end of the day, they write everything down.
And it's all recorded on body cam. That's what I don't know why people don't understand that. At least in Houston, everybody has body cam. So any conversation you have with an officer, it's being recorded. And every officer has body cam. So they got different angles. They got the things, and when you're sitting in the patrol car all by yourself, that's recorded too. So you're having these drunken conversations. I shouldn't have went into that building. I shouldn't have been drinking. Guess what? That's recorded too. So you just got to be quiet at all times. Just pretend everything is recorded, because it is, and just be quiet.
Especially when they put two people in the back. What they will do with co-defendants, They'll put them in the back of the same patrol car and walk away. Y'all don't realize there's hidden cameras in there. So when they having conversations, you take the charge. No, you take the charge. Man, I didn't want to go in that building. Y'all having that conversation in the back, that will be replayed in court. And it's a lot of ways that they get you with that. For typically, when they pull you over these DWI investigations, they're going to ask you certain questions. Where were you going? Where are you coming from? How much have you had to drink? Their job is to keep you talking. To see if they can't, the things that they have to be able to articulate.
Slurred speech.
They have to say you had slurred speech, that you had bloodshot eyes, that you couldn't hold a sentence together. If you don't say any words, they can't do that. If they can't smell your breath because you're not over there talking, they can't say that they smelled alcohol as you were talking. They find all this stuff out when you don't shut your mouth. So the name of the game is just don't say anything. And it's not even just with DWI stuff. I'm talking about when you get in criminal interrogation rooms, when the police come and they pick you up for something, they're going to ask you questions. You might not have done anything wrong. But if you're in a situation where you can put yourself there, they ask, were you on the scene? I wasn't there. I'm trying to say, I just went there with my cousin. I want to do this, I want to do that. You just put yourself in the scene. That enough is to get you roped in, at least for them to try to pull a charge on you. Now, if they can't find the person that they're looking for, you've admitted you were there, they'll hold you, charge you with the case, and then use you as leverage to try to draw that other person out. But moral of the story is, I can talk about this stuff forever, don't say anything.
Okay,
the best thing you can give your criminal defense lawyer is a blank slate. Don't give them a story. Don't give them any explanation. Don't try to give them an alibi. You identify yourself, ask for a lawyer, and leave it at that.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Johnson Bell. Call me at 713-855-5855, and I'll make sure you stay the hell out of jail.
Okay, but time out. Let's clear that up. The interrogation room phase. When you're in an interrogation room, that is not the space to just remain silent. You need to invoke your right to counsel immediately. So the only thing that you do need to say in an interrogation room is, I want my lawyer. Be blessed, but I want my lawyer.
No, you don't say I want my lawyer. You say I want Antoine Johnson. Call 713-855-5855.
That's enough.
No, but understanding the ramifications, as long as you haven't invoked your right to counsel, they can leave you in there and go in and go out. But when you say I want my lawyer, at that time the interrogation has to cease. So in order for you not to go through this prolonged, you living there, how long am I be there? No, invoke your right to counsel, because then they have to conclude that interrogation, take you back. They can't leave you in there forever. So,
but I think what happens, at least from what y'all got more experience at it, people hate silence.
Mm-hmm. So that's why the words you use is I want my lawyer.
No. But I'm saying, in general, people feel like they have to say something,
and that's when they make the rest just statement.
And so you say I want my lawyer. And then they sit there.
No, because case law says, and that's where people, even if you make a statement from there, it puts me in the position back in the day when I was a defense attorney. The minute that you invoke your right to counsel, they have to terminate the conversation. That means they can't ask you any more questions on that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, you say I want my lawyer. I'm the interrogator. Mm-hmm. So I don't say anything else to you. I sit there. And invariably, you find people who say, you said, I want my lawyer. I'm going to sit there. I just sit there and don't say anything. You say, because I wasn't even there. And I'm saying, and the whole point is, once you say, I want my lawyer, say nothing else.
Put your head down.
Stay quiet. Now,
that's the best advice. Say you want your lawyer, then put your head down and take a nap. Don't say a single word after. If everybody does that, you will be surprised at how things work out for you.
All right, so if I get pulled over on the side of the road and I remain silent, and then the DWI says, hey, I just want you to do these tests, and I'll let you go.
Don't take those tests. Do not take those tests. You don't have to take those tests. Never take those tests and never blow that machine.
What's the ramification of you?
Now, if you don't take the test, they can do it. They will suspend your license for 180 days for refusal. But that would be, you would much rather have the suspension than what's going to come after that. And you have to go through that DWI.
And this is what happens. So when they end up getting a warrant, and this is
this for a drunk and drive? I'm just trying to.
Okay,
DWI. Okay.
So when I was a prosecutor,
driving while intoxicated,
or driving under the influence.
Yeah, DWI in some states, but
the officer would have to get a warrant, and it was really a standard form that we would have to fill out that would articulate what their probable cause was. The person was speeding, and they had bloodshot eyes, slurred speech. They did the SFSTs, and then we give what the numbers, the standard field sobriety tests, and we give what the numbers are. And typically, if there was a refusal, then the warrant has to be heavy on the other facts, like the slurred speech, or strong odor of alcohol, or bloodshot eyes. unsteady balance. But if you don't have that, if you haven't been talking and you don't have SFSTs,
And close
They
your
got
eyes.
it makes it much more
And kept your eyes
difficult.
closed.
It makes
close
it
your
much
eyes.
more difficult to articulate your probable cause in a warrant to get that blood draw. It just makes it easier. Now, I mean, we say this in all fairness, when you're intoxicated, you're probably not going to remember this. But
Well, now, again, the idea is we'd rather you not be
Drive
intoxicated than drive. So this is not to try and teach you how to drive drunk and not get a
Exactly.
ticket. This is making sure you understand what your rights are and you exercise your rights at all times.
that's correct.
So what were you saying though?
She was saying that it's a lot harder if you don't do anything, if you don't talk, if you're not having a conversation with them and trying to convince them of your innocence. It's a lot harder, for them to prove their guilt.
Articulate probable cause in order to get a blood warrant to force you to submit your blood to.
So in that, does that mean that you don't get the 180 day, or you still get the 180?
No, just for refusing, you get a 180-day suspension for DWI.
Well, let's clear that up. You get
Point
the
two.
suspension originally, like they can issue suspension, but everybody upon
entitled.
you're entitled to an
ALR
ALR
hearing.
At an ALR hearing, if you don't show up for the ALR hearing, your thing goes into effect. So the suspension is given. But there's a way to contest even that suspension by going to an ALR hearing. Legally, everybody's entitled to the ALR hearing. You sign up for an ALR hearing.
What's
We're talking
ALR?
Administrative license revocation.
Okay.
Revocation hearing. And at that hearing, you can articulate your reasons. And I'm not saying refuse all this stuff. I can't do that legally. I'm out of the whether you refuse or not. I want to clear up the law on you have the right to remain silent, but your right to remain silent in the interrogation room, you have to invoke your right to counsel for that to actually hold off the way it says. Just like for the ALR part, the ALR hearing part, they actually have to present evidence. And the law is very clear. The right to remain silent can't be used against you. So you can use, I was exercising my constitutional right, and there have to be other facts that they can articulate in order to express why your license should remain revoked. So I just don't want people think, well, I'll do this, but the automatic is I'm automatically going to have 180 days.
Okay.
No, you have a chance to contest
Let me
it.
ask a question. Have y'all experienced these ALR hearings?
Yes.
Yes.
And what's the percentage of people that get their license suspended?
I don't know the percentage, but our office actually does the ALR hearings for people who have DWs, and we beat some. I mean,
Yeah, I'll be a few of them.
yeah,
Really?
it's not like just an automatic suspension.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's
I
good
won
to
all the
know.
ones I've done.
You said you won.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. So people that have hope.
Okay, so again, thank you for joining us for another episode of Politics, Law, and Life, where every story finds its verdict.
And don't forget to subscribe.